Welcome to the Artist Loft, the talk show for all artists. Join us each show as we spotlight a variety of different creatives, hosted by the Florida Arts Network, with Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Lofties, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, no, I'm just kind of recovering from what I just heard. It just hit me with a dad joke just as we were getting on. It's like, I'm not fully recovered
From
yet.
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I got to say, go Panthers.
Yes,
Congratulations to the Panthers. They
Panther
won their
pride.
They won their first Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I know, right? Look at that. Oh man, dude, yeah, I'm not recovered yet. No, yesterday I was a hot mess because I realized after all these years that I'm not equipped to live on my own. I just I had changed my sheets the night before and sprayed lavender on the pillows, and I forgot that I sprayed lavender on the pillows. Sprayed it again. I might have even done it a third time. When I went to bed, it was like, oh my gosh, it was driving me crazy. So yeah. Last night was it was bad. But we had a great networking event at the Pier 6 rooftop.
Pier 6 rooftop had over 20 people.
Yeah, and good, solid people. You know, people in the industry that they're movers and shakers. They're doing stuff. Kimberly was there. I got to talk to her about possibly doing some stuff. We've had her on the show a couple of times. Yeah, we've had her on the show. She runs the Flow Film Festival and Market. So we'll probably have her on again at some point.
Time when it gets near Flow again, I guess.
Yeah. In March, yes?
I guess it's March. Yeah.
So the Artist Loft is an arm of Florida Arts Network. And first off, I want to thank a lot of guests and viewers that have been donating to our show. We really appreciate this because we want to get a lot of stuff done. We want to work with all these kids, that have no creative outlet. There's some really talented kids. I run into talented kids all the time. It's incredible. And we also like to celebrate the artists that are creating the art. Right? Whether they be dancers or singers, actors, writers, whatever. There's a lot of talented people out there. We love what they do, right? Appreciate their work.
We also offer video services. If you need a video for a reel or a trailer or even for a commercial, you can contact us on our website. And advertising rate starts with us at $75. So contact us on www.floridaartsnetwork.org. And while you're there, make a contribution. Yeah,
and see how else you can help. I've got a whole list of different things that we need. We are 501c3, so any gifts are tax deductible, and a little bit can go a long way. It really can. All right, so without any further ado, I don't know. Do we really want to bring him? Yeah. Do we really want to bring him on the?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, I guess we can. Here's a man that I met, many years ago.
I'm not as old as you, Richard. I'm not even close. And even if I was, I would be far better preserved.
Wow. Wow.
Tough
Okay,
crowd.
I see how this show is going to go now.
Yeah,
all right.
Badly.
All right. Todd Van Linda. How are you doing today?
Greetings. I'm doing as quickly as I possibly can.
Yeah. We met many years ago for the first time. I was covering for an acting teacher, and you were in that class.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was, what, 15 years?
Maybe, yeah.
Because I think I was younger than I am now.
Yeah,
I'd
say
maybe,
right.
maybe not.
Yeah, I know. 15 years ago, my hair was dark and a lot fuller. So
Not that much, really.
Yeah. Oh, one of these days on this show, I will show a picture of me from back in the '70s, and you've seen the picture.
Yeah,
You've
he used
seen
to
it.
sing with the Commodores.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a picture of me back in the 70s would take up very little room because I was a fetus,
What?
at least early on.
Whatever. Whatever. Well, anyway, Todd, thanks for being on the show, man.
Thanks for inviting me.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So many people that we need to get to. Oh my gosh, because there's so much talent in this community.
Well, it's
and we're-
always a good time to come out with Florida Arts Network.
Yep.
Always a good time.
Yeah.
You the man. You the man.
I am. I
Yeah.
am the man.
All right, so you are an illustrator, graphic artist. What term do you prefer, and is there a difference?
There is a difference. An illustrator and concept artist is what I call myself.
Okay.
A graphic artist is someone who focuses more on, I don't want to say big shapes, but big shapes, and they do mostly commercial work. You know, if you see something that is a catchy logo or a nice, you know, trifold brochure, odds are the pictures you're looking at on there were done by a graphic artist. You know, typeface and lettering and things like that. Logos, a lot of stuff like that. I get a lot more in depth with it. I'm really a problem solver more than anything else, and a storyteller, and every client has a story. Whether
Right.
they call it that or not, that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they need somebody to make pictures to tell that story, and that's what I do.
Right. Like and kind of like, okay. So all right. So let's go through some of the pictures. If you can go back to that first one, let's hit these one by one. Okay. I guess we can start here. Okay. So what's the deal with this one? When I first saw it, I thought they were photographs.
No.
Isn't that crazy?
I thought it was a photograph. too.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he's got some talent after all. Look at
Yeah,
that.
imagine that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. What's the story behind that?
That is for a group of Green Berets that I became introduced to. And there was a horrendous battle in the Gordesh Valley of Afghanistan in 2008. And these 7 Green Berets ended up in a hornet's nest filled with over 200 insurgents. And they fought their way out over the next 12 hours. Wow. And that story is far more hair-raising than anything that you would see in a movie.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
And they are all due more commendation than what they've already received. There was one of them that has already been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. The reason that I was contracted to do what I did for that is that there are more of them that should be getting Congressional Medals of Honor. But they've been hitting snags, and they haven't been getting the attention from the people that they need to get the attention from in the DOD and the Defense Department.
So you're the attention getter.
That they needed an attention getter. So, you know, I was in the Marine Corps, and even people who are in the military and understand these things, when you read some of these narratives, they're pretty dry.
Yeah.
Especially if you're reading one after the other, after the other, after the other. So to stand out, they wanted something different. And I am the different guy.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And this is also part of the same.
It's part of the same thing. That narrative, when complete, will be 47 pages long.
Wow.
And that's from one Green Beret's perspective. One man. There were 7 in that team. One of them didn't make it out alive. Each one of the 7 has his own narrative. And I'm looking at this and thinking that this is more intense than anything that I've seen on Netflix or Amazon or on the graphic novel rack.
So that's like an individual testament from each guy.
It is. That's exactly what it is. And the things that these men pulled through are just, I mean, they are superhuman with their capabilities.
Yeah,
It's
7
just
against
startling.
200. I mean, those are pretty grim odds.
And when they came out of this, the enemy was about 82% casualty.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy when you think about it. Imagine the training that they had to go through.
These men were after what's called a shadow governor. The Taliban has what they call shadow governors who control certain areas of Afghanistan. Now you have the elected governor who's accepted by all of the polite people that eat with their elbows off the table. And then the Taliban has their own secret man that controls that area.
Yep.
Kind of like a mafia boss.
Okay.
They knew that one was going to be in this area. And the Gordish Valley it's right there on the border with Nuristan, which is deep in Indian country. I mean, it's about as dangerous as it gets. Other Allied forces are not allowed to go there because it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And these guys went in there with some help from the Afghan National Army, all of whom fled as soon as the bullets started flying.
Yeah.
And they went in there to get this guy.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he didn't have 20 men with him, he had 200 with him.
Yeah.
And they walked into a massive, sprawling ambush.
Yeah.
And they lost one man, and because they wouldn't leave that one man laying there, they were there for the next 12 hours.
Yeah. And so you were contracted to tell their story
I was.
with illustrations and stuff like that. And I swear and you drew all that stuff out. And I swear it looks like photographs.
There's a lot of
amazing.
different ways to go with that. And sometimes I can draw hyper realistic things like what you're seeing here, or I can stylize it to the point where, you know, it looks more like something you'd see in a Marvel comic or what have you. But
Yeah.
you have samples of all of that stuff.
Yeah,
We need
yeah,
to
yeah.
chatter about
Let's
it.
go to another one. Okay. What just happened? Okay. Yeah, let's go to another one of the pictures, because I brought samples of a couple of different. Okay, so like that one.
That is the cover rough for my upcoming graphic novel.
Okay.
And that's what it is. I have a working title only, but it is a ways away from production.
Yeah.
But that's the cover for issue number 1.
And this is something that you're doing on your own.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm
Very
drawing
neat.
it, I'm writing it, all of the above.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right. So I know we've got a couple more pictures. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So we'll we'll have those pictures
Richard,
in a moment.
I've never known you to have a problem keeping talking.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So keep on flying. So now you've got like this superhero
This
kind of thing.
was for a tabletop card playing game.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a pretty big game numbers wise. There's 60 plus cards in the first iteration of this. And tabletop card playing games have become kind of all the rage now in the RPG community. And there's a lot of them, and a lot of them, they kind of count on art to sell.
Yeah.
But that's this one. It's a retro futuristic game, and the name of it is The Amazing Galactic Space Opera. And he wanted to go campy. He
Yeah.
wanted to go super campy, retro future. I was like, you came to the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah. And then, okay, so now this one over here. So I love fantasy and stuff like that. So this one kind of caught my attention.
Yeah, that's part of my character art portfolio. And character art is something that I really genuinely enjoy. That actually I did for somebody's birthday. That wasn't for a client. And it just kind of sprang forth on its own.
Yeah.
And that's really great when you get that as an artist that you just got to go with it no matter what it's for.
Oh, yeah.
Because not everything is like that, especially when you're doing work for clients all the time. You know the parts and you know how to put them together, but
Yeah.
when something really inspires you and it just takes off on its own, you got to follow it to the end. And that's what happened
Yeah.
with this character right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I get it. There have been times where, I'm working on a script, 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, if I wait until morning, forget it. It's gone. It's gone. I have to get up and start doing something, or at the very least, pull out my phone and record what's going through my head.
Yeah, notes and scribbles are a fact of life around my place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have one more. Yeah, that one right there.
That's another one from my fantasy collection. That's geared toward, say, a Wizards of the Coast type client.
Yeah.
And that one was another one that just came to me. I was eyeball deep in client work, and I kept having this vision just nagging me, just wouldn't go away. It was like a little yappy dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a little Pomeranian that just won't shut up.
Yeah.
So finally, I had to kind of cater to it a little bit. And about, I don't know, 3 days later, that was born.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
All right, so I can't believe how quickly this is going. We're gonna take a really quick commercial break, and then we'll get back to we'll come back to you and how you got started with all of this and
Good
all
deal.
that kind of good stuff.
Very good.
All
More
right,
with Todd.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Agent Romante, but most of you know me as Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I just wanted to give a shout out to my man Richard Sosa. He is one of the best acting coaches that I've had the pleasure to work with, and he's actually worked with me in my program for many years, and I highly recommend this guy. So if you have an opportunity to work with him, what are you waiting for? Now, get out of my face. Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez. I am out.
And we're back.
We're
with
right
Todd
back.
Van Linda and his talent as an illustrator. And what was the other thing? Illustrator?
Concept artist.
Concept artist. Now, do you like sell individual pieces that you do, or?
I'm not into the gallery scene at the moment.
Okay.
I do sell prints of my work. I do it mostly online via electronic file, but I'm not into the gallery scene right now. Everything is commissioned for me right now. Someone comes to me with a project they want done, and we strike a deal, and I make the pictures for them.
Very cool. Now, how did you get started in all of this?
Well, I got started in this a lot the same way everybody in my family does. It just was the first thing that worked. It's the first thing that I could actually make work. I've been drawing basically my entire life. I started when I was a very, very small child. And Mom quickly introduced me to paper, because otherwise the crayons would go to random vertical surfaces in the house. I lost a lot of good work that way. Still disappointed about some of those. But paper was pretty handy. I got to give it to her on that one.
Yeah.
So I've been drawing my entire life, and the first half of my life I spent not in corporate America, in the steel business actually, and I was in that business from very early on. It was a family business, And when I was in my early 40s, I could no longer take the titillating excitement of the steel industry. And I decided that something else might be in the cards for me.
Yeah.
And computers and the internet and the industry itself having developed the way it did, it opened up venues or avenues for someone like myself to immediately start making a living where they really weren't there before. If you look at popular artists from even 10 years ago or 10 years before that time, it was a struggle. It was the struggle that is every bit the struggle that an actor has. It's the same thing. It's a talent pool, it's a gig economy, and it's a brute and a half, to put it politely, to try to get to the point where you're actually paying your bills on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's a...
Yeah.
Did you catch how I censored myself right there?
Yes.
No profanity.
Todd, I am so proud of you.
I almost blew my shoes off, but for you, Richard, I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
But the fact is that as time has gone by, the internet has evolved and freelancing has evolved such that you can take your skills and put them on the computer, on the internet, and you can actually work. And you don't have to wait for a gatekeeper to decide that you have the stuff to let you in the door, which is critical.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you that. You know, that's the life you live.
Yeah.
It's a brute. That's why we're all here. That's why Florida Arts Network exists,
Yeah.
is because it is so tough to get past those gatekeepers. And that's what kills most people that are aspiring to something like that.
Yeah.
Because you got to keep the lights on in the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. It's a tough industry.
And the upper echelons of, I would say my industry, but my industry is many industries. It leads off in several different directions. The upper echelons are still tough to get into.
Yeah.
If you want to go to something like publishing, I've been published numerous times. Whether or not you see it or find it, that's anybody's guess. But if you're going to go for a Random House or a Penguin or somebody like that,
It's tough.
yeah, pack a lunch.
Yeah, pack a lunch.
Because, and it's not that you're not good. It's not that you don't know what you're doing visually. It's just that not only are there so many talented people out there, but they have their favorites.
Oh yeah.
And there are many, many, many decision makers at those places. AAA game manufacturers are the same way. They are hyper specific in what they want you to know and how they want you to work. And if you are not dialed into all of their little specific adjustments,
Yeah.
they might speak to you nicely, but you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even in the film industry, there are directors that, you know, they only work with a specific DP or director of photography. And so, yeah, I get it. And trying to break into that it's tough.
Yeah, and even if you dot all the, you know, even if you dot all the I's and cross all the T's and you got everything perfect and what you're looking for, they just want somebody else. You know, they know somebody else and do the same thing. They don't know you, so goodbye.
Oh, yeah. And most art directors will tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, getting that first in there that's the biggest hurdle you're ever going to face.
Yeah.
Because they know people that have produced for them in the past, and that's the big thing. A lot of people know what they're doing. A lot more don't, but a lot do.
Yeah.
And you're competing against people that they already know they can trust.
Yep.
Yeah. How's it go? The better the devil you know than, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I just, you know, I look back at the artists that I grew up on that I idolized, like Den Beauvais and Larry Elmore, that worked for Wizards of the Coast back when it was TSR Hobbies, you know, and they started in the early 1980s. And those guys starved trying to get their careers started. Houses were being repossessed, you know, they were running out of food, and they had kids And they were that dedicated to doing art for a living.
Yeah.
And these guys are, they're amazing. They're legendary names in certain circles now.
Yeah, now they are.
But
yeah.
in the early 80s,
Yeah. Yeah, nobody knew them from Adam.
nobody knew them from Adam's House Cat.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you don't have to go that route these days.
Yeah. Yeah, now with the internet,
You
get
can
yourself out
actually
there a
pay
lot
your
easier.
bills while you're knocking on the big doors.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Well, good, good. All right, I can't,
Did I tell you?
yeah.
Time
we're-
flies when you have fun.
Yeah, yeah, I can't believe the time's over already. Well, Todd, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for
We'll have-
inviting me, Richard.
Absolutely, we'll have to do it again.
I think you're a great guy, no matter what Frank says about you.
I don't pay too much attention to what Frank says about me. All right. Well, everybody, thanks again for joining us on another episode of The Artist Loft. Hello, thank you, Lofties, for
Thank you, Lofties.
yes for joining us
right.
once again.
And check in 2 weeks.
Yep, we'll see you again in 2 weeks. And remember, go to our website, www.floridaartsnetwork.org. Check us out. And if there's any way that you can help, we would really appreciate it.
Forgo your Starbucks for a week or so and give the money to us.
Yeah. There you go. Trust me, what we're doing is a lot more satisfying than that cup of coffee.
That's it.
All right, everybody. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Ciao.
Thank you for watching The Artist Loft. Make sure to tune in next time for another great show. A show that was produced by Ant Media Productions and hosted by the Florida Arts Network with your hosts Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.